ADHD Genius. The ultimate learning guide for kids with turbo brains. Introduction to the topic of ADHD and ADD. You are now ready to get started. The introduction to the topic of ADHD and ADD provides an overview of the basics of these neurological disorders and creates an understanding of their significance in the school context. ADHD attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and ADD attention deficit disorder are frequently diagnosed disorders that occur primarily in children, but can also occur in adolescents and adults. They affect attention, impulsive behavior and self-regulation. This introduction describes the core characteristics of ADHD and ADD, which include problems with attention, hyperactivity, impulsivity, and difficulties with self-control. It explains that ADHD and ADD are not due to a lack of intelligence or motivation, but to neurological differences in the brain. Furthermore, the possible effects of ADHD and ADD in the school environment are examined. Those affected may have difficulties following the lesson content, organizing tasks, completing homework and preparing for exams. Social interactions and emotional challenges can also play a role. The introduction highlights the need for adapted support and encouragement for students with ADHD and ADD. It is emphasized that with the right approach and individual strategies, successful learning and positive development are possible. This introduction serves as a starting point for further understanding and the development of practical tips and techniques that are presented in the following chapters to make everyday school life easier for those affected and to increase their learning success. Goal of the book. The aim of the book Successful Learning with ADHD and ADD is to provide practical support and valuable information to those affected by ADHD and ADD as well as their parents, teachers and other interested parties. The book is intended to help develop a comprehensive understanding of the challenges associated with ADHD and ADD. It offers concrete strategies, techniques and advice to effectively manage everyday school life and increase learning success. The main objectives of the book include providing information. The book provides a solid knowledge base about ADHD and ADD. It explains the causes, symptoms and effects of the disorders to create a better understanding of their individual challenges. Support in coping with everyday school life. The book presents proven methods and practical tips to improve the academic success of those affected. It offers strategies for improving concentration, organization and planning as well as for effective preparation for exams. Promoting self-management and self-confidence. The book aims to strengthen the self-management of those affected and to build their self-confidence. It offers instructions for developing individual learning strategies, dealing with frustration and failure, and promoting social and emotional skills. Support for parents and teachers. The book is also aimed at parents and teachers who work with affected children. It offers them information and advice on how to better understand the needs of the students and how to best support them in their everyday school life. The overall goal of the book is to help those affected to reach their potential, optimize their learning, and lead successful and fulfilling lives despite the challenges of ADHD and ADD. Basics of ADHD and ADD. The chapter Basics of ADHD and ADD provides essential information about these neurological disorders. It lays the foundation for understanding the causes, symptoms and differences between ADHD and ADD. Definition and symptoms of ADHD and ADD. Definition of ADHD and ADD. It explains what exactly is meant by ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and ADD, attention deficit disorder. Key features of ADHD. Description of the typical symptoms of ADHD, including attention problems, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. Main features of ADD. Explanation of the symptoms of ADD, which mainly focus on difficulties with attention. Causes and diagnosis. Possible causes of ADHD and ADD. An overview of the various factors that can contribute to the development of ADHD and ADD, such as genetic predisposition, environmental factors, and neurological differences. Diagnosis of ADHD and ADD. Information about the diagnostic process, including the involvement of professionals such as doctors, psychologists, and psychiatrists. The common diagnostic criteria and tools are explained. Differences between ADHD and ADD. Definition of the differences. A detailed explanation of the specific differences between ADHD and ADD, including the severity of symptoms and the nature of the disorder. Similarities and overlaps. Identify similarities and overlaps between ADHD and ADD to provide a comprehensive understanding of both disorders. By understanding the basics of ADHD and ADD, readers will gain a solid overview of the key characteristics, causes, and diagnostic aspects of these disorders. This forms the basis for the subsequent chapters, which present specific strategies and recommendations for coping with everyday school life and promoting learning success in ADHD and ADD. 2.1 Definition and symptoms of ADHD and ADD. ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and ADD, attention deficit disorder, are neurological disorders that occur primarily in childhood but can also persist into adulthood. They affect attention, impulsive behavior, and self-regulation. The main features of ADHD include attention problems. Those affected have difficulty focusing and maintaining their attention on a specific task or stimulus for a long period of time. They can be easily distracted and have trouble concentrating on details. Hyperactivity. Those affected show an excessive level of physical restlessness and motor activity. They have difficulty sitting still and are often fidgety or restless. Impulsivity. Affected individuals often act spontaneously and rashly, without adequately considering the consequences of their actions. They may have difficulty controlling their impulses, which may cause them to behave inappropriately in social situations. Attention deficit disorder is the main symptom of ADD. The symptoms can be similar to those of ADHD, but hyperactivity and impulsivity are less pronounced or non-existent. It is important to note that the symptoms of ADHD and ADD can vary in their severity and combination from individual to individual. Not everyone affected shows all symptoms to the same degree. In addition, the symptoms can also affect everyday life, school performance, and social interaction. To diagnose ADHD or ADD, a comprehensive diagnostic process is carried out. This includes observing behavior, recording symptoms through questionnaires, interviewing those affected and their social environment, and taking developmental and medical history into account. Defining and understanding the symptoms of ADHD and ADD are crucial to developing appropriate support, treatment options, and coping strategies. The rest of the book presents concrete approaches and recommendations to enable those affected to learn successfully and have a better quality of life. Causes and diagnosis. The causes of ADHD and ADD are varied and can include both genetic and environmental factors. It is believed that a combination of different factors contributes to the onset and development of these disorders. Genetic predisposition. Studies have shown that ADHD and ADD have a certain genetic component. Children of parents with ADHD or ADD have a higher risk of being affected by the disorder themselves. However, it is emphasized that genetic predisposition alone is not enough to develop ADHD or ADD, but that other factors play a role. Neurological differences. Brain studies have shown that individuals with ADHD and ADD may have differences in certain areas of the brain important for attention regulation and impulse control. These differences may lead to the symptoms observed. Environmental factors. Various environmental factors can increase the risk of ADHD and ADD or worsen symptoms. These include smoking and alcohol consumption during pregnancy, premature birth, low birth weight, toxins in the environment, lack of social support, and stressful living conditions. Diagnosing ADHD and ADD requires careful evaluation by qualified professionals such as doctors, psychologists, or psychiatrists. There are no definitive diagnostic tests for ADHD and ADD, so diagnosis is usually based on a comprehensive medical history and observation of behavior. The diagnostic process usually involves several steps: analysis, recording of the individual medical history and development of the affected person, as well as information about symptoms, their severity and duration. Observation, observing the behavior of the affected person in different settings, such as at home and at school. Questionnaires and rating scales. Use of standardized questionnaires and rating scales to record symptoms and assess their severity. This can be done by parents, teachers, or the affected person themselves. Excluding other causes. It is important to exclude other possible causes for the symptoms observed, as they may present similar signs. These include, for example, learning disorders, emotional problems, or neurological disorders. The diagnosis of ADHD and ADD should be performed by experienced professionals to ensure an accurate assessment. Early and accurate diagnosis is crucial to provide appropriate support and treatment options. Differences between ADHD and ADD. Although ADHD attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and ADD attention deficit disorder have similar core symptoms, there are some differences between the two disorders. Here are the key differences. Hyperactivity. The most prominent feature of ADHD is hyperactivity. People with ADHD show excessive physical restlessness, have difficulty sitting still, and are often fidgety or restless. In contrast, hyperactivity is either absent or significantly less pronounced in ADD. Impulsivity. Impulsivity is another feature of ADHD in which sufferers tend to act impulsively and without considering the consequences properly. Impulsivity and actions without thinking can also occur in ADD, but are usually less pronounced than in ADHD. Attention problems. Both ADHD and ADD are characterized by attention problems, but these are more prominent in ADD. Those with ADD have difficulty maintaining their attention and concentrating on a task, while in ADHD, the attention problems are accompanied by additional hyperactivity. Frequency of accompanying symptoms. In ADHD, accompanying symptoms are more common, such as oppositional defiant disorder (OD), mood and anxiety disorders, learning difficulties, and social problems. In ADD, Attention problems are the main problem and accompanying symptoms are usually less pronounced. Diagnosis. The diagnosis of ADHD and ADD is based on similar diagnostic criteria, with the difference being the severity and the presence of hyperactivity and impulsivity. For an ADHD diagnosis, the symptoms of hyperactivity and impulsivity must be present, while with ADD, it is mainly the attention problems that are diagnosed. It is important to note that the distinction between ADHD and ADD is not always clear-cut and that symptoms and manifestations may vary from person to person. A comprehensive assessment by qualified professionals is required to ensure an accurate diagnosis and appropriate support. Effects of ADHD and ADD on learning. ADHD attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and ADD attention deficit disorder can have significant effects on learning and academic performance. Symptoms of the disorders can affect people's ability to concentrate, process information, organize and complete tasks, and control impulsive behavior. Here are some of the most common effects. Attention problems. The core symptoms of ADHD and ADD include difficulty sustaining attention and focusing on a specific task. People with the condition may be easily distracted, have trouble grasping details, and may have difficulty staying focused for long periods of time. This can affect the ability to understand and retain information, as well as the ability to complete tasks. Impulsivity and lack of impulse control. Impulsive actions and lack of impulse control can make it difficult to control impulsive behavior while learning. Sufferers may tend to be easily distracted, give in to immediate needs, and make rash decisions. This can lead to interruptions in the learning process and inefficient use of the time available. Organization and time management problems. Difficulties with organization and time management are common in people with ADHD and ADD. Those affected may have trouble planning their tasks, setting priorities, and keeping track of their school obligations. This can lead to incomplete or late homework, missed deadlines, and a feeling of being overwhelmed. Problems with working memory. Working memory is critical for processing and maintaining information in consciousness during learning. People with ADHD and ADD may have difficulty retaining and accessing information in working memory, which can lead to problems with processing and retrieving knowledge. Social and emotional challenges. ADHD and ADD can also bring social and emotional challenges that can affect learning. People with the condition may have difficulty behaving appropriately in social situations, making friends, or resolving conflicts. Emotional fluctuations and low frustration tolerance can affect self-confidence and motivation. It is important to recognize that these effects can vary from individual to individual and that not everyone affected has the same difficulties in learning. Recognizing and supporting the specific learning needs of people with ADHD and ADD are crucial to helping them reach their full potential. There are various strategies and supports available to enhance the learning process for these individuals. Structured learning environment. A structured and organized learning environment can be particularly helpful for people with ADHD and ADD. This includes clear and unambiguous instructions, a well-organized schedule, clear rules and expectations, and the provision of visual aids such as to-do lists or learning plans. Adapting teaching methods. Educators and teachers can adapt their teaching methods to meet the needs of students with ADHD and ADD. Examples include short lesson periods with frequent breaks, using visual and interactive materials, incorporating movement breaks, and varying teaching methods to maintain attention. Improving attention. There are several strategies to help improve attention in people with ADHD and ADD, including minimizing distractions in the classroom, sitting close to the teacher, using assistive devices such as headphones to reduce noise, and incorporating interactive and hands-on activities to increase engagement. Time management and organizational skills. Learning time management and organizational skills is crucial for people with ADHD and ADD. Teachers can assist in developing strategies for prioritizing tasks, using calendars and schedules, and breaking large tasks down into smaller steps. This can help reduce overwhelm and improve the ability to complete tasks on time. Self-regulation support. People with ADHD and ADD may benefit from self-regulation techniques to control impulsive behavior and better focus on their tasks. This may include breathing exercises, relaxation techniques, or using self-control strategies such as the stop and think approach. Collaboration with parents and professionals. Close collaboration between teachers, parents and professionals is crucial to support the learning process for people with ADHD and ADD. Sharing information, developing individualized support plans and communicating regularly can help understand students' needs and ensure appropriate support. By implementing these and other appropriate strategies, people with ADHD and ADD can strengthen their learning skills and have more successful learning experiences. It is important to recognize individual differences and strengths in order to create an individualized learning environment that meets their needs. It is also important to create a supportive and compassionate environment that promotes self-awareness, confidence and motivation. In addition to school-based support measures, it may also be helpful to consider other treatment approaches to manage the symptoms of ADHD and ADD. These include, for example, behavioral interventions, medication, psychotherapy and alternative therapy methods. The individual situation and needs of the affected person should be taken into account. It is important to note that despite the challenges they may have when learning, people with ADHD and ADD have great potential and unique abilities. Many people with ADHD and ADD are creative, imaginative and think outside the box. By identifying and nurturing their individual strengths, they can make their learning experiences positive and reach their full potential. This book presents a variety of strategies, tips, and resources to help people with ADHD and ADD learn successfully. It explains best practices and proven educational approaches that are specifically tailored to the needs of this target group. The goal is to help them overcome their learning challenges, strengthen their study skills, and achieve their academic goals. Please note that this book provides information and advice but cannot replace medical diagnosis or treatment. It is always advisable to seek advice from qualified professionals for individualized support and treatment. The following chapters cover specific topics such as learning strategies, organizational techniques, coping with attention problems and self-regulation to provide readers with comprehensive guidance on successful learning with ADHD and ADD. Difficulties in everyday school life. In everyday school life, people with ADHD and ADD may encounter various difficulties that can affect their ability to learn and perform. Here are some of the most common challenges. Difficulty concentrating. Due to the attention problems associated with ADHD and ADD, Those affected often have difficulty concentrating on the subject matter for long periods of time. They can be easily distracted and have difficulty focusing on a task. This can lead to reduced understanding and limited information processing. Restlessness and hyperactivity. Hyperactivity and restlessness are common symptoms of ADHD. Sufferers may have difficulty sitting still and may feel fidgety or restless. This can not only affect their own concentration, but also disrupt other students in the classroom. Impulsive behavior. Impulsivity is another characteristic of ADHD and ADD. Those affected may have difficulty controlling their actions and react impulsively without adequately considering the consequences. This can lead to disruptions in classes and make the learning environment difficult for everyone involved. Difficulty organizing tasks. People with ADHD and ADD often have trouble organizing tasks. They may have difficulty planning and completing their homework, keeping track of class material, and meeting deadlines. This can lead to incomplete or late assignments and affect academic success. Learning and test anxiety. Because of the challenges they face, people with ADHD and ADD may be at increased risk for learning and test anxiety. They may feel stressed and overwhelmed, which can affect their performance and confidence. Social difficulties. ADHD and ADD can also bring with them social challenges. Those affected may have difficulty making friends, interacting appropriately in social situations and resolving conflicts. This can affect their well-being in school and impair their motivation to learn. These difficulties in everyday school life can be frustrating and have a negative impact on the self-esteem of those affected. It is important that teachers, parents and professionals are aware and offer support to meet individual needs. Targeted interventions and adjustments in lessons can reduce the challenges and optimize the learning environment for people with ADHD and ADD. Concentration problems and attention deficits. Concentration problems and attention deficits are common challenges for people with ADHD and ADD. These difficulties can negatively impact learning and academic performance. Here are some aspects to consider when dealing with concentration problems and attention deficits. Raising awareness of individual needs. It is important that teachers and parents are aware of the individual concentration problems and attention deficits faced by people with ADHD and ADD. Each affected person may have different levels of difficulty, and awareness of these specific needs can help provide appropriate support. Structure and routine. A well-structured and organized learning environment can help improve concentration and attention. Clear instructions. An orderly workspace and a structured schedule can help those affected to better orient themselves and focus their attention on tasks. Reducing distractions. Distractions can significantly impact concentration. It is important to minimize potential distractions in the classroom or while learning. This may include placing the student in a quiet environment, limiting noise and visual stimuli, avoiding excessive distractions from technology, or using noise-reducing headphones. Active participation and interaction. People with ADHD and ADD can benefit from active involvement in the learning process. Interactive teaching methods, hands-on activities and discussions can help maintain attention and increase engagement. Involving multiple senses promotes attention. Short learning periods and breaks. Long learning periods can be challenging for people with ADHD and ADD. It can be helpful to break lessons or learning into shorter periods with regular breaks. This allows those affected to maintain their concentration and reduce fatigue. Use of visual aids. Visual aids such as graphs, diagrams, mind maps, or color coding can help direct attention and improve understanding of information. These visual elements can aid memory and facilitate information processing. One-on-one attention and individual support. One-on-one attention and individual support can be very beneficial for people with ADHD and ADD. Closer attention can address their specific needs and difficulties. This can be done, for example, by working with a learning therapist, a special education teacher or a specialized teacher. Individual support can consist of breaking down the learning material into smaller and more digestible parts, offering additional explanations or using alternative learning methods. Use of technology. Technological aids can help to overcome concentration problems and attention deficits. There are a variety of apps, tools and software designed specifically for people with ADHD and ADD. These can help structure the learning process, set reminders, improve focus and make organizational tasks easier. Encourage movement breaks. Movement breaks can help improve concentration and regulate energy in people with ADHD and ADD. Physical activity, such as brief exercise, stretching, or short walks, can help balance energy levels and increase alertness. Positive reinforcement and reward systems. Using positive reinforcement and reward systems can increase motivation and engagement in people with ADHD and ADD. Praise, recognition, and small rewards for achieving learning goals can help maintain focus and build confidence. It is important to note that not all strategies and approaches are equally effective for everyone. Every person with ADHD and ADD is unique, and therefore it may be necessary to try different approaches and tailor them to each individual in order to provide the best possible support. Close collaboration between teachers, parents, professionals and those affected themselves is crucial to successfully address concentration problems and attention deficits and to promote learning success. Hyperactivity and impulsivity. Hyperactivity and impulsivity are two other key characteristics of ADHD and ADD. They can affect learning and school performance. The following approaches can be helpful in dealing with hyperactivity and impulsivity. Movement and physical activity. People with ADHD and ADD can benefit from regular physical activity and exercise. Incorporating short breaks for exercise or activities that require movement can help burn off excess energy and improve concentration. This can be done through short exercises, yoga or relaxation techniques. For example, structured work environment. A well-structured and organized work environment can help reduce hyperactivity and impulsivity. Clear instructions, a tidy workspace, and a clear structure can minimize distractions and encourage engagement with tasks. Time management and prioritization. People with ADHD and ADD can benefit from time management and prioritization strategies. Using schedules, to-do lists, and checklists can help focus on important tasks and reduce impulsive behavior. Breaks and relaxation techniques. Regular breaks and relaxation techniques can help control hyperactivity and impulsivity. Relaxation methods such as breathing exercises, meditation or progressive muscle relaxation can help reduce inner restlessness and promote self-regulation. Clear rules and structure. Setting clear rules and expectations can help control impulsive behavior. By providing clear boundaries and consequences, People with ADHD and ADD receive clear guidelines for their behavior and can learn to counteract impulsive actions. Reinforcement of positive behavior. Positive reinforcement can help reduce impulsive behavior and encourage alternative, appropriate behaviors. Through praise, recognition and reward for controlled and reflective behavior, those affected can learn to control their impulses and make constructive decisions. Emotion regulation. People with ADHD and ADD may have difficulty regulating their emotions, which can lead to impulsive reactions. Learning emotion regulation strategies, such as breathing techniques, mindfulness exercises, or talking about feelings, can help reduce impulsive actions and encourage appropriate behavior. It is important that teachers, parents and professionals create a supportive and understanding environment in which people with ADHD and ADD can learn to control their hyperactivity and impulsivity. An individual approach tailored to the needs and abilities of the affected person is crucial. Close collaboration between school, parents and professionals can help to develop and implement effective strategies. In addition, the following measures can be supportive. Use visual aids. Visual aids such as visual schedules, checklists or task cards can help direct attention and reduce impulsivity. Clear visual instructions make understanding easier and reduce impulsive action. Social skills training. Targeted social skills training can help people with ADHD and ADD learn appropriate social interactions and control impulsive behavior in social situations. Training can include communication skills, conflict resolution strategies, and empathy development. Support through peer tutors or mentors. Involving peer tutors or mentors who have experience in dealing with ADHD and ADD can be helpful for those affected. These mentors can serve as role models, provide advice, and offer support to reduce impulsive behavior and encourage alternative behaviors. Individual therapy and coaching. In some cases, individual therapy or coaching can be useful to help people with ADHD and ADD to manage their hyperactivity and impulsivity. Different approaches such as behavioral therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy or mindfulness training can be used. It is important to note that reducing hyperactivity and impulsivity does not mean completely eliminating these traits. The goal is to develop strategies to control these traits and promote self-regulation. A comprehensive, individualized and supportive approach that takes into account the strengths and resources of the affected person can help improve the management of hyperactivity and impulsivity in the school context. Emotional and social challenges. In addition to cognitive difficulties, people with ADHD and ADD may also face emotional and social challenges. These can affect their learning and school performance. The following approaches can be helpful in dealing with these challenges. Emotion regulation. People with ADHD and ADD may have difficulty regulating their emotions. It is important to help them recognize, understand, and deal with their emotions appropriately. This can be done by using emotion regulation techniques such as breathing exercises, relaxation techniques, or talking about feelings. Social skills development. People with ADHD and ADD may have difficulty developing social skills and maintaining appropriate social interactions. Learning social skills such as listening, communicating, teamwork, and conflict resolution can help them build positive relationships with classmates and teachers. Help build self-esteem and confidence. People with ADHD and ADD may face low self-esteem and a lack of confidence due to their difficulties in the school environment. It is important to help them recognize their strengths and abilities and to have positive experiences to build their self-esteem. Promoting social relationships and support in the classroom. Creating a supportive and inclusive classroom atmosphere is important to address social challenges. Working with teachers, parents and classmates can help create a positive social environment in which people with ADHD and ADD feel accepted and supported. Education and awareness. It is important to educate people about ADHD and ADD and to raise awareness of the challenges faced by those affected. Education can reduce prejudices and misunderstandings and increase the willingness to support and accept people in the school community. Individual counseling and support. In some cases, it may be helpful to offer individual counseling and support to counter emotional and social challenges. This may take the form of school psychologists, counseling services, or therapeutic interventions. Promote self-reflection and self-management. People with ADHD and ADD can benefit from self-reflection and self-management strategies. Learning techniques such as time management, goal setting, and planning can help them better organize their tasks and behavior and control their emotions and impulses. Individualized support and adjustment are critical to meeting the emotional and social challenges faced by people with ADHD and ADD. It is important that teachers, parents and professionals act with sensitivity and understanding and create a supportive environment that takes into account the individual needs of the affected person. In addition, the following measures may be helpful. Promote peer interactions. Incorporating peer interactions can be beneficial for people with ADHD and ADD. Through group work, pair work, or peer mentoring, they can develop social skills, learn from others, and be in a supportive community. Conflict resolution strategies. People with ADHD and ADD may have difficulty handling conflict appropriately. Learning conflict resolution strategies, such as the ability to compromise, understand other people's perspectives, and communicate calmly, can help them cope better in social situations. Fostering positive relationships. Positive relationships with teachers, parents and classmates can make a big difference for people with ADHD and ADD. It is important to provide them with opportunities to build relationships, feel supported and showcase their skills and strengths. Promoting self-advocacy. People with ADHD and ADD should be encouraged to identify and communicate their needs. By promoting self-advocacy, they can learn to stand up for themselves, seek support, and address their individual challenges in the school context. Parent and teacher training. Parents and teachers play an important role in supporting people with ADHD and ADD in their social and emotional well-being. Training programs that raise awareness among parents and teachers about ADHD and ADD and provide them with strategies for dealing with the emotional and social challenges can be very beneficial. It is important to emphasize that every person with ADHD and ADD is unique and has different needs and challenges. Therefore, it is crucial to take an individualized approach and tailor support to the specific needs of the individual. Promoting a positive social environment, teaching social skills, and supporting emotion regulation can help people with ADHD and ADD to successfully manage their emotional and social challenges and feel comfortable in the school community. Dealing with ADHD and ADD in everyday school life. School life can be challenging for people with ADHD and ADD, but with appropriate strategies and support, they can learn successfully and achieve their academic goals. Below are some proven methods and approaches for dealing with ADHD and ADD in school life. Individual support plans. An individual support plan, developed in close cooperation with teachers, parents and specialists, can be an important basis for dealing with ADHD and ADD in everyday school life. The plan should contain individual goals, support measures and adjustments that are tailored to the specific needs of the affected person. Clear communication and structure. Clear communication is very important to support people with ADHD and ADD in their everyday school life. Teachers should give clear instructions, clearly state tasks and expectations, and create a structured environment to minimize distractions. Adjustments in class. Individual adjustments in class can improve the learning success of students with ADHD and ADD. These include, for example, adjusting seating, using visualizations and highlighting important information, extending exam times and allowing short exercise breaks. Use of technology. Technological tools can make everyday school life easier for people with ADHD and ADD. Using apps that help with organization, time planning and concentration, as well as using tablets or laptops for digital learning materials can help facilitate the learning process. Positive reinforcement and reward systems. Positive reinforcement and reward systems can be motivating and effective in encouraging behavior and performance in students with ADHD and ADD. Praise, recognition, and small rewards for goals achieved or improved behavior can help build confidence and maintain motivation. Regular breaks and exercise sessions. Regular breaks and exercise sessions during the school day are important to reduce excess energy and improve concentration. Short exercise breaks during which students can move, stretch or relax can help to increase attention and productivity. Involvement of parents and professionals. Close cooperation between parents, teachers and professionals is crucial to effectively dealing with ADHD and ADD in everyday school life. Sharing information, jointly developing strategies and regular communication about the child's progress are important aspects of successfully dealing with ADHD and ADD in everyday school life. Help with organization and time management. People with ADHD and ADD may have difficulty organizing their tasks and managing their time effectively. It is helpful to help them bring structure to their school day, for example by working with to-do lists, prioritizing their tasks, and creating realistic schedules. Incorporating interests and activities. Incorporating personal interests and activities into everyday school life can increase the motivation and engagement of people with ADHD and ADD. Teachers can try to structure lessons in a variety of ways and link learning content to topics that interest students. Support for self-reflection. People with ADHD and ADD can benefit from self-reflection techniques to analyze their learning behavior and strategies. Teachers can help them become aware of which learning methods work best and how they can improve their learning processes. Raising awareness and educating the school community. Raising awareness and educating the school community about ADHD and ADD is crucial to promoting understanding and acceptance. Information events, workshops or school projects can help break down prejudices and create a supportive environment. Professional support and therapy. In some cases, working with professionals such as school psychologists, therapists, or counselors can be helpful in managing ADHD and ADD in school. These professionals can provide additional strategies, resources, and support to help overcome individual challenges. It is important to note that every person with ADHD and ADD is unique and has different needs. Therefore, it is crucial to take an individualized approach and address the specific needs and strengths of each individual. Close collaboration between teachers, parents, professionals and the student themselves is key to ensuring successful management of ADHD and ADD in the school setting. School support systems. In order to provide the best possible support to students with ADHD and ADD in their everyday school life, various school support systems can be set up. These systems aim to recognize individual needs, make appropriate adjustments and create an inclusive learning environment. Here are some examples of such supportive measures. Individualized learning program. An individualized learning program can help students with ADHD and ADD achieve their individual learning goals. By adapting lessons to their specific needs and learning styles, they can reach their full potential. This can be achieved, for example, through additional exercises, adapted assignments or alternative assessment methods. Learning support. Learning support can take the form of tutoring, remedial lessons or individual support. Teachers or educational specialists are there to help students organize their learning, complete tasks and understand learning content. Support from school psychologists or school social workers. School psychologists or school social workers can play an important role in supporting students with ADHD and ADD. They can provide counseling, teach strategies for dealing with challenges, and help students develop social skills. Peer support. Peer involvement can be very beneficial for students with ADHD and ADD. Through peer tutors, study groups, or mentoring programs, they can receive support and encouragement from their peers. Peers can also serve as role models and help students develop social skills and become involved in the school community. School resource rooms. School resource rooms provide a quiet and structured space where students with ADHD and ADD can complete their tasks, focus, and address their learning needs. These rooms may be equipped with specialized materials, technological tools, and support staff. Support in exam preparation. Students with ADHD and ADD can benefit from special arrangements for exams. These include, for example, the provision of extended exam times, the possibility of dividing tasks into smaller units or the use of aids such as a reading device or a writing aid. These school support systems should be developed in close collaboration with teachers, parents and professionals. Regular communication and review of the effectiveness of the support measures is important to ensure that the needs of students with ADHD and ADD are adequately addressed. It is also important that teachers and school staff are informed about the understanding of ADHD and ADD. In-school training or information events can help to raise awareness of the challenges but also the strengths of the affected students. In addition to the school support systems, cooperation with parents is of great importance. Regular communication between parents and teachers makes it possible to better understand the child's needs and to coordinate support both at school and at home. School support systems should be flexible and tailored to the individual needs of each student. It is important to emphasize that every student with ADHD and ADD is unique and has different strengths and challenges. By taking a holistic and person-centered approach, Schools can create an inclusive learning environment where students with ADHD and ADD can reach their full potential. It should be noted that the support measures presented are not exhaustive and depend on the individual circumstances of the school and the needs of the students. It is therefore advisable to consult with experts and professionals in the field of ADHD and ADD in order to ensure the best possible support in the school context. Communication with teachers and school staff. Open and effective communication with teachers and school staff is crucial to successfully managing ADHD and ADD in everyday school life. Through good collaboration, challenges can be identified, support measures coordinated, and progress monitored. Here are some important aspects of communication with teachers and school staff. Sharing information. Parents should provide teachers and school staff with relevant information about their child's diagnosis, symptoms, strengths and challenges. This will help teachers better understand how to support the child. Regular parent-teacher meetings. Schedule regular meetings with teachers to discuss the child's progress, address current challenges, and develop strategies for support. These meetings provide an opportunity to share information, ask questions, and work together to find solutions. Shared goal setting. Work with teachers to set clear and realistic goals for the child. These goals should be tailored to the child's individual needs and take into account academic as well as social and emotional aspects. Sharing strategies. Parents can provide valuable insight into strategies that have been used successfully at home. These can help teachers make appropriate adjustments in the classroom and offer individualized support. Feedback and progress monitoring. It is important to monitor the child's progress and receive regular feedback from teachers. Parents can ask how the child is doing in class, how he or she is doing in group work or tests, and whether the support measures used are effective. Openness to questions and concerns. Parents should feel encouraged to ask questions and raise concerns about classes, teaching methods, or other school-related matters. Open and respectful communication can help clear up misunderstandings and promote positive collaboration. Collaboration with school staff. In addition to teachers, school staff such as school psychologists, counselors or special education teachers can also provide valuable support. Use their expertise and communicate with them regularly to ensure the best possible support for your child. It is important that communication with teachers and school staff takes place on a cooperative and respectful basis. Both parents and teachers have the common goal of promoting the well-being and learning success of the child. By working together constructively, parents and teachers can offer the best possible support for students with ADHD and ADD. Open and continuous communication lays the foundation for successful cooperation that focuses on the needs of the child. Exchange of information about progress and challenges. Parents should regularly share information about their child's progress with teachers. This includes both positive developments and any difficulties or setbacks. On the other hand, teachers can give parents feedback about the child's behavior and performance in the school context. An open exchange allows both sides to better understand how the child is acting in class and how support can be adapted. Cooperation in developing individual support plans. In some cases, it may be useful to develop an individual support plan for the child together with the teachers and, where appropriate, other specialists. This plan may include specific adjustments in lessons, additional resources or individual care options. Close cooperation ensures that the support plan takes the child's individual needs into account as best as possible. Openness to questions and suggestions. Parents should be encouraged to ask questions or give suggestions when necessary. This can help everyone involved to understand each other better and to work together to find solutions. Teachers should also be open to questions and suggestions from parents and be willing to discuss alternative approaches or strategies. Student involvement. It is important to include the opinions and feedback of the students themselves. They should be included in the communication process and have the opportunity to share their needs and experiences. This encourages them to recognize their own role in their learning process and to take responsibility. Appreciation and recognition. It is important to appreciate and recognize the child's efforts and progress. Teachers can do this through positive feedback, reward systems, or other forms of recognition. An appreciative attitude helps to strengthen the child's self-confidence and motivation. Constructive and open communication between parents and teachers is an essential part of supporting students with ADHD and ADD in the school environment. Through collaborative work, common goals can be defined, individual needs taken into account, and successful learning strategies developed. Individualized learning strategies. In order to successfully support students with ADHD and ADD in their everyday school life, it is important to develop individual learning strategies. These strategies take into account the specific needs, strengths, and challenges of the affected students. Here are some approaches to individualized learning strategies. Structure and organization. Students with ADHD and ADD benefit from a clear structure and a well-organized learning environment. Teachers can help by creating a fixed daily and weekly schedule, clearly structuring tasks and materials, and helping students organize their work materials and areas. Visualization. Visual aids can help students better process and retain information. Teachers can incorporate visual elements such as diagrams, mind maps, graphs, or color coding into lessons to help students better understand and structure complex content. Time management. Students with ADHD and ADD often have difficulty planning and using their time effectively. Teachers can help them develop time management skills by giving them clear time limits for tasks, scheduling breaks, and teaching them strategies for prioritizing and organizing their work. Active participation. Students with ADHD and ADD often benefit from active involvement in class. Teachers can encourage this by getting them actively involved in discussions, group work, or practical activities. For example, active participation can increase their engagement and help them stay focused. Small learning sessions. Long periods of learning can be challenging for students with ADHD and ADD. Teachers can break lessons down into smaller learning sessions and plan regular breaks to maintain concentration. Short and intensive learning sessions can be more effective than longer sessions. Multisensory learning. Students with ADHD and ADD benefit from a multisensory approach that engages different senses. Teachers can implement this by using different learning methods, such as reading, listening, touching, or using movement. This allows students to absorb and process information in different ways. Positive reinforcement. Teachers can use positive reinforcement to encourage student learning and engagement. Praise, reward systems, or small tokens of appreciation for goals achieved or good performance can increase motivation and build confidence. Individual attention. One-on-one attention can be particularly helpful for students with ADHD and ADD. Teachers can offer individual support, for example by providing additional explanations and instructions, helping to organize tasks and materials, or developing individual learning plans. This individual attention enables students to maximize their potential and learn successfully. Use of technology. Technology can be a valuable resource to facilitate learning for students with ADHD and ADD. Teachers can use digital learning platforms, learning apps, task management tools, or other technological tools to make lessons more interactive and engaging and to provide individualized support to students. Self-regulation strategies. Teachers can help students develop self-regulation strategies. This includes techniques for self-organization, self-control, and self-reflection. Teachers can teach students how to direct their attention, use breaks effectively, and deal with frustration or stress. These self-regulation strategies help students to actively manage their own learning and be successful. It is important to note that not all strategies are equally effective for every student. It requires individual adaptation and continuous observation to find out which learning strategies work best for each student. Close collaboration between teachers, parents and, where appropriate, other professionals is crucial to best understand the student's needs and provide appropriate support. Promoting concentration and attention. Promoting concentration and attention is an important aspect of supporting students with ADHD and ADD in their everyday school life. Here are some strategies and measures that can help. Creating a conducive learning environment. A quiet and well-structured learning environment can help improve student concentration. Teachers should ensure appropriate room design by minimizing distractions, strategically choosing student seating, and reducing visual stimuli that could distract attention. Clear instructions and expectations. Clear and precise instructions are especially important for students with ADHD and ADD. Teachers should give their instructions in short and understandable sentences, emphasize important information and, where appropriate, use visual aids such as pictograms or checklists to help students orient themselves and complete tasks. Structured learning phases. Structured learning phases with clear start and end times can help students focus on a task. Teachers can break lessons into shorter, well-defined units and plan regular breaks to maintain concentration and prevent fatigue. Use of visual aids. Visual aids such as blackboards, diagrams, graphics or mind maps can help to increase students' attention and help them process and retain information better. Teachers can use these aids specifically to make lessons more vivid and promote concentration. Active participation in class. Students with ADHD and ADD often benefit from active involvement in class. Teachers can encourage them to actively participate in class by asking questions, initiating discussions or having them work on tasks in groups. Active participation keeps students' attention longer. Concentration training and relaxation techniques. Teachers can teach students concentration training and relaxation techniques to improve their attention and reduce stress. This can include, for example, exercises in conscious breathing, progressive muscle relaxation or mindfulness. Such techniques can help students to control their attention more consciously and concentrate better. Individual support and feedback. Individual support and regular feedback are crucial to improving the concentration and attention of students with ADHD and ADD. Teachers can provide students with targeted support to improve their concentration. This may include, for example, asking them to highlight important information or take notes to focus attention on what is important. In addition, regular feedback is important to give students feedback on their performance and progress. Teachers can give positive feedback for focused behavior and good work to increase motivation. At the same time, they can provide supportive advice on how to further improve attention and concentration. Movement breaks. Movement breaks can help to increase attention and concentration. Teachers can plan short breaks during which students can move, whether through simple exercises in the classroom, a walk or jumping on the spot. The movement activates the body and can subsequently increase concentration. Reducing distractions. Distractions can affect the concentration of students with ADHD and ADD. Teachers can help minimize distractions by reducing sources of distraction such as loud noises, cluttered work environments, or too much visual stimuli. It can also be helpful to offer students a separate workspace that is free of distractions. Collaboration with parents and professionals. Close collaboration between teachers, parents and, where appropriate, other professionals is important to promote students' concentration and attention. Regular communication allows relevant information to be shared to ensure the child is supported and encouraged in the school and out-of-school environment. Parents can also provide valuable insight and advice on how to promote their child's concentration and attention. It is important to note that not all strategies and interventions are equally effective for every student. Each student is unique and may require a tailored approach. Therefore, it is of great importance to consider the needs and preferences of students and to be flexible in responding to their individual requirements. Techniques to increase concentration. There are various techniques and strategies that can help improve the concentration of students with ADHD and ADD. Here are some proven methods. Time management. Effective time management can help improve concentration. Teachers can teach students to manage their time wisely and set realistic goals. Setting clear priorities and creating a schedule with set work and break times can help focus attention on the task at hand. Chunking method. The chunking method involves breaking larger tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the overall task, students can focus on a small section and complete it successfully. This helps maintain motivation and focus on the task at hand. Visualization techniques. Visualization techniques can help improve concentration by using the imagination. Teachers can teach students to imagine visual images or mental models of what they want to learn. This technique can help maintain attention and improve understanding and recall of what is learned. Mindfulness exercises. Mindfulness exercises can help to strengthen the ability to concentrate. Teachers can teach students to focus on the present moment and consciously direct their attention to the here and now. This can be done through breathing exercises, body awareness, or consciously observing thoughts and emotions. Mindfulness training can help to reduce distracting thoughts and impulses and improve focus on the task. Use of supporting materials. Using supporting materials can help concentration. This can include using audiobooks, bookmarks, colored markers, or other tools to direct attention and deepen understanding. Teachers can help students identify the supporting materials that are most appropriate for them and use them effectively. Physical exercise. Physical exercise can improve concentration because it activates the body and increases blood circulation and oxygen flow to the brain. Teachers can incorporate short exercise breaks into lessons or introduce activities such as brain gym exercises or yoga to encourage students to exercise and increase concentration. Exercise can also serve as a reward after a period of concentrated work and help to maintain motivation. Structured work environment. A structured work environment can help promote concentration. Teachers can help students organize their workspace and keep it tidy. This includes providing adequate workspace, reducing distractions such as electronic devices or messy materials, and establishing clear rules and routines for the work area. Reward systems. Introducing reward systems can increase student concentration and motivation. Teachers can set individual or collective goals and offer appropriate rewards when these goals are achieved. This can be in the form of praise, small gifts or privileges. Reward systems can help maintain concentration and reinforce positive behaviors. Support from classmates. Working with other students can be helpful in promoting concentration. Teachers can encourage group work or partner activities where students can support and encourage each other. By sharing ideas and working on tasks together, they can learn from each other and improve their ability to concentrate. Self-reflection and self-regulation. Students can learn to observe and reflect on their own concentration skills. Teachers can encourage them to become aware of the situations in which they can concentrate well and which strategies help them to do so. On this basis, they can develop self-regulation techniques. For example, by consciously choosing certain working methods or tools to promote their concentration. It is important to note that not all techniques and strategies are equally effective for every student. Every student is different, so the methods presented should be adapted to the specific needs and preferences of the students. Regular communication with the students and, if necessary, with the parents can help to identify and apply suitable techniques to improve concentration. Time management and planning. Effective time management and good planning are crucial to supporting the concentration skills of students with ADHD and ADD. Here are some techniques and tips for successful time management. Creating a schedule. Teachers can help students create a structured schedule that takes into account the various activities and tasks of the day, including school, homework, free time, meals, and rest periods. It is important to set realistic time frames for each task and to allow enough buffer time to account for unforeseen events or longer periods of work on a task. Setting priorities. Teachers can help students set priorities together. It is important that they learn to differentiate between urgent and important tasks and to prioritize them accordingly. This avoids being distracted by unimportant tasks and focuses on what is important. Break tasks down into smaller steps. Often, large tasks can seem overwhelming and impede concentration. Teachers can help students break down larger tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. This makes it easier to adapt and allows students to focus on one step at a time. Use of visual aids. Visual aids such as calendars, to-do lists or task boards can help with planning and organization. Teachers can teach students to use these aids effectively to keep track of their tasks and appointments. Checking off completed tasks can provide additional motivation and a feeling of progress. Use time management techniques. There are various time management techniques that can help students use their time more efficiently. For example, The Pomodoro technique, in which work phases of around 25 minutes are alternated with short breaks, or time management according to the Eisenhower principle, which distinguishes between important, urgent, unimportant and non-urgent tasks. Teachers can introduce these techniques and help students to use them. Self-reflection and adaptation. It is important that students regularly reflect on their time planning and time management. They should check which strategies work well and which may need to be adjusted. By consciously dealing with their time management, they can improve their ability to concentrate and increase their efficiency. Flexibility and adaptability. It is important to understand that a schedule and planning should be flexible. Sometimes unforeseen events may arise or tasks may take longer than expected. In such cases, it is important to adapt the planning and respond flexibly. Teachers can teach students how to deal with such situations by finding alternative solutions or reprioritizing. Support from teachers and parents. Teachers and parents play an important role in supporting time management and planning for students with ADHD and ADD. They can help students set realistic goals, motivate them, and provide guidance when needed. Through regular communication and collaboration, teachers and parents can help students develop their time management skills. Reward systems. Introducing reward systems can provide incentives for students to use their time effectively and complete their tasks on time. Teachers can work with students to agree on rewards when they reach their time goals. These rewards can motivate and increase feelings of success and recognition. Self-care and balance. In addition to effective time management, it is important that students also pay attention to their self-care and find balance. Taking breaks, getting enough sleep, eating healthy and exercising help improve concentration and promote well-being. Teachers can teach students how to plan and prioritize their time for such activities. By applying these time management and planning techniques, students with ADHD and ADD can improve their ability to concentrate, complete their tasks more effectively, and gain a sense of control over their time. Support from teachers, parents, and learning self-management skills can help make school life more successful and facilitate learning. Dealing with distractions. Dealing with distractions is particularly challenging for students with ADHD and ADD. Here are some strategies that can help them focus better and minimize distractions. Creating a suitable work environment. A quiet and well-organized workspace can help reduce distractions. Teachers can help students organize their workspace so that it is free of distracting elements such as toys, electronic devices, or excessive clutter. Clear rules can also be established to keep focus on tasks. Structuring time. By dividing work time into specific intervals, concentration can be maintained. Teachers can teach students to alternate short work phases with regular breaks. This helps to increase concentration and allows students to focus specifically on the tasks. Use of attention directing tools. There are various tools that can help students direct their attention to the task at hand. These include bookmarks, colored markers, or fidget tools. These can help students meet their sensory needs while staying focused. Use of time management tools. Time management tools such as timers or alarm clocks can help maintain attention. Teachers can teach students to set the timer for certain tasks and focus on completing them within that time. Using visual or audio reminders can help to keep focus on tasks. Self-monitoring and reflection. Students can learn to recognize their own attention and distraction patterns. Teachers can teach them to use attention-enhancing techniques such as mind recalling or redirecting attention to break free from distractions. By reflecting on their own sources of distraction, students can develop targeted strategies to counteract them. Support from teachers and peers. Teachers can offer support to students by helping them maintain focus and helping them manage distractions. This can be done, for example, through regular feedback, targeted instruction, or individual attention. Peers can also play a supportive role by helping to minimize distractions and promote the concentration of affected students. Reducing external stimuli. Overstimulation from too many visual or auditory stimuli can impair concentration. Teachers can help students minimize distracting stimuli by, for example, providing a quiet learning environment, reducing sources of noise, or limiting the use of electronic devices while learning. Use of learning strategies. Students can learn various learning strategies that help them concentrate better and reduce distractions. These include active reading, underlining or highlighting important information, taking notes, or summarizing what they have learned. These techniques can help to direct focus and deepen understanding. Reward systems. Introducing a reward system can increase motivation and help students focus on their tasks. Teachers can work with students to set rewards for working undisturbed for a certain amount of time or for completing their tasks successfully. This can serve as an incentive to avoid distractions and maintain concentration. Support from the social environment. The social environment, including teachers, parents and classmates, plays an important role in supporting students with ADHD and ADD. Through understanding, patience and support, they can help minimize distractions and keep the focus on learning. A supportive environment can encourage students to focus on their tasks and offer help when needed. By learning strategies to deal with distractions, students with ADHD and ADD can improve their ability to concentrate and learn more effectively. Support from teachers. Learning self-control and self-reflection, and creating a supportive learning environment are critical to reducing the impact of distractions and making learning successful. Learning strategies for ADHD and ADD. Learning strategies can help students with ADHD and ADD learn more effectively and complete their tasks successfully. Here are some learning strategies that have proven particularly helpful for them. Structuring the learning process. Clearly structuring the learning process can help maintain focus and cope with an overwhelming flood of information. Teachers can help students define their learning goals, break the learning material down into smaller units and set a time frame. By breaking down large tasks into smaller steps, learning becomes more manageable and easier to implement. Visualization techniques. Using visual aids can help students with ADHD and ADD to better understand and retain information. Creating mind maps, diagrams, tables or graphs can help to clarify connections and improve memory. Visually presenting the learning material makes it more tangible and easier to access. Adapting the learning environment. A learning environment that is adapted to individual needs can support concentration and learning. Teachers can help students create a quiet and well-organized workspace that is free from distractions. Reducing visual and auditory stimuli and setting up a structured work surface can promote concentration. Multisensory learning. Incorporating multiple senses into learning can increase attention and improve comprehension. Teachers can help students grasp the material in a variety of ways, such as listening to audiobooks, talking or discussing what they have learned, using tactile or fidget tools while learning, or incorporating movement or hands-on activities. Active learning methods. Students with ADHD and ADD often benefit from active learning methods that maintain their attention. Teachers can encourage the use of interactive exercises, group work, role play or hands-on experiments. Incorporating movement, discussions and practical applications makes learning more lively and varied. Repetition and regular practice. Through regular repetition and practice, information can be better anchored and retained. Teachers can help students to create learning plans that include regular repetition phases. Dividing the learning material into smaller units and regular repetition enable knowledge to be anchored in the long term. Use of mnemonic techniques. Mnemonic techniques are memory strategies that help students to better retain and recall information. Students with ADHD and ADD can benefit from such techniques. Teachers can teach them to use associations, mnemonics, rhyming techniques or acoustic mnemonics to better remember difficult content. By linking information with what is already known, memory is strengthened. Time management and break planning. Effective time management and break planning is important to maintain focus and avoid overload. Teachers can help students create realistic schedules that take into account study times, breaks and recovery periods. Setting clear time intervals for specific tasks and taking breaks promotes concentration and prevents exhaustion. Self-reflection and feedback. Students with ADHD and ADD can improve their learning strategies by developing self-reflection and the ability to assess their own learning. Teachers can encourage them to regularly reflect on their learning process and evaluate their own learning. Identifying strengths and weaknesses and adapting learning strategies based on personal feedback can lead to more effective learning. Support from teachers and parents. Teachers and parents play an important role in supporting students with ADHD and ADD. They can accompany the learning process, give feedback, motivate and offer individual support. Close cooperation between teachers, parents and students makes it possible to develop and adapt suitable learning strategies to meet individual needs. By learning and applying appropriate learning strategies, students with ADHD and ADD can improve their learning performance and be successful. Adapting the learning environment to each individual, using different learning methods and techniques, and receiving support from teachers and parents are crucial to strengthening their learning skills and enabling them to reach their full potential. Designing a learning environment. A suitable learning environment can have a great impact on the learning of students with ADHD and ADD. Here are some aspects to consider when designing a conducive learning environment. Minimize distractions. Distractions can affect concentration and make the learning process difficult. It is important to minimize distracting visual and auditory stimuli in the learning environment. This can be achieved by creating a quiet and uncluttered environment. Distracting objects or noises should be removed or reduced to promote concentration. Creating a structured work surface. A well-organized work surface can help students keep track of their materials and make the learning process more efficient. Teachers can help by providing shelves, drawers or folders to keep books, notebooks and documents in an orderly manner. A clear structure on the work surface can help to direct focus on the task at hand. Choosing the right seat. Seating can have a significant impact on concentration and learning behavior. Students with ADHD and ADD often benefit from a seat that is less distracting. Sitting near the teacher or in a quiet place can be helpful in minimizing distractions and keeping focus on learning. Use of visual aids. Visual aids can support learning by helping students better understand and retain information. For example, teachers can use posters, charts, or diagrams to illustrate complex concepts. Incorporating colors, symbols, or visual enhancers can also help increase attention and facilitate learning. Flexibility in seating arrangements. For students with ADHD and ADD, it can be helpful to allow flexible seating arrangements. This means that they have the opportunity to change their seat as needed. Some students may find it easier to sit close to the teacher, while others may be able to concentrate better if they have a little more space. Adjusting seating arrangements can accommodate individual needs and support learning. Consider movement breaks. Students with ADHD and ADD often benefit from short movement breaks during learning. Teachers can incorporate short movement activities or relaxation exercises into the learning process to increase attention and increase sitting time. Such breaks can help to release excess energy and maintain concentration. This can be achieved, for example, by taking short stretching exercises, taking walks, or incorporating movement games. Considering individual needs. Every student with ADHD and ADD has individual needs and preferences. It is important to consider these and incorporate them into the design of the learning environment. Some students may prefer a quiet atmosphere without background noise, while others may work better in a lively environment. Teachers can explore this through conversations with students and individual consultations and make adjustments accordingly. Promote self-regulation. Students with ADHD and ADD can benefit from self-regulation strategies. This includes self-organization, time management, and self-control techniques. Teachers can help them develop and use these skills to better utilize their learning environment and complete their tasks effectively. A supportive learning environment for students with ADHD and ADD should be tailored to their individual needs. By minimizing distractions, creating a structured work surface, considering seating, using visual aids, incorporating movement breaks, being flexible with seating arrangements, considering individual needs, and encouraging self-regulation. An environment that supports learning and promotes success can be created. Adapt learning techniques and learning methods. When supporting students with ADHD and ADD, it is important to adapt learning techniques and methods to meet their individual needs. Here are some approaches that can help. Multisensory learning. Students with ADHD and ADD often benefit from a multisensory learning approach that involves different senses. For example, teachers can use visual aids, auditory elements and tactile materials to convey information in a variety of ways. Incorporating movement, colors, music or concrete examples makes learning more lively and makes it easier to understand and absorb content. Structured learning. A clear structure in learning is especially important for students with ADHD and ADD. Teachers can help them structure their learning process by, for example, giving clear instructions, providing step-by-step instructions, or using worksheets with predetermined sections. Creating structure helps students keep track of things and become better organized. Active learning. Active learning methods in which students actively participate in the learning process are effective for students with ADHD and ADD. This can be done, for example, through group work, incorporating discussions, creating mind maps, or applying learned knowledge in practice. Active participation maintains interest and attention and deepens understanding. Short learning sessions. Students with ADHD and ADD can have difficulty staying focused for long periods of time. Therefore, it is useful to break learning sessions into short sections. For example, teachers can break lessons down into small steps and plan regular breaks to avoid fatigue. Short, focused learning sessions allow students to maintain their concentration and process what they have learned more effectively. Visualizing and structuring information. Students with ADHD and ADD can benefit from visual representations and clear structuring of information. Teachers can use visual aids such as diagrams, graphs, or tables to clearly present complex content. Breaking information down into manageable sections, highlighting important keywords, or using color coding supports visual processing and facilitates understanding. Repetition and practice. Repetition and practice are important elements of the learning process for students with ADHD and ADD can benefit from regular repetition and targeted practice. Regular repetition of learned material can help anchor information in long-term memory. Teachers can use various methods to support this, such as regularly reviewing core concepts, creating summaries, or making flashcards with important information. Targeted exercises allow students to apply what they have learned in practice and deepen their understanding. Teachers can provide practice questions, worksheets, or interactive activities that give students the opportunity to apply what they have learned and reinforce their skills. It is important that the exercises are clearly structured and easy to understand to avoid confusion and frustration. In addition to these adaptations of learning techniques and teaching methods, it is important that teachers provide a supportive and positive learning environment for students with ADHD and ADD. By providing encouraging feedback, recognizing their progress, and promoting individual strengths, teachers can increase students' confidence and motivation. It is also advisable to work closely with parents or guardians to better understand students' individual needs and ensure their support. Together, teachers and parents can develop appropriate strategies to make learning successful for students with ADHD and ADD. Visualization and mind mapping. Visualization techniques and mind mapping are effective tools to help students with ADHD and ADD learn. These approaches help to visually represent information and better understand relationships. Here are some ways in which visualization and mind mapping can be used. Mind maps. Mind maps are graphical representations that help organize information in a hierarchical and structured way. Students can use mind-use maps to visually represent topics, concepts, or ideas. By using keywords, connections, colors, and symbols, they can better organize their thoughts and see connections between different pieces of information. Mind maps are particularly useful for structuring complex topics and deepening understanding. Graphic organizers. Graphic organizers are visual aids that help present information in a clearly organized form. They can be created in the form of charts, tables, Venn diagrams, or flowcharts. Students can use graphic organizers to collect information, compare it, identify relationships, and highlight important details. These visual aids help them keep track of things and improve understanding. Figures and diagrams. Using figures and diagrams is an effective way to visually represent complex information. Teachers can use figures and diagrams to clearly explain abstract concepts, processes, or relationships. Students can use these visual representations to better process and remember information. Color coding. Colors can help organize and visually structure information. Students can use different colors to highlight important information, keywords, or context. Using colors in notes, mind maps, or other visual representations support visual memory and make it easier to recall information. Drawings and sketches. Students can create their own drawings and sketches to illustrate information. By using visual elements, students can use their imagination and simplify complex content. Drawings and sketches help process and remember information in a personal and creative way. By using visualization techniques and mind mapping, students with ADHD and ADD can improve their learning processes. They can organize information better, recognize connections, and deepen their understanding. Teachers can use these techniques in a targeted manner and help students develop their own visualization strategies to achieve their learning goals. Active learning and movement. Active learning and movement are important approaches to help students with ADHD and ADD learn. These methods allow students to channel their energy, increase their attention, and improve their learning. Here are some ways to incorporate active learning and movement into the classroom. Movement breaks. Regular movement breaks during class can help improve student concentration and attention. Teachers can plan short movement activities where students can stretch, jump, or do other physical activities. These movement breaks allow students to burn off their energy and increase their concentration for the following learning phase. Interactive learning methods. Interactive learning methods, such as group work, role play, or discussions, allow students to actively participate in the learning process. By incorporating movement and physical activity into these activities, different senses are addressed and learning becomes more lively. Teachers can also include movement games or competitions to make the learning process more interesting and interactive. Learning by doing. Active learning involves the practical application of knowledge and skills. Teachers can create learning situations in which students can apply what they have learned in real or simulated situations. For example, they can conduct experiments, create projects, or give presentations. Through these practical activities, students are actively involved in the learning process and can apply their knowledge and skills in a practical way. Physical activities during learning. Teachers can incorporate physical activities into the learning process to encourage students' attention and learning. For example, they can combine learning with exercise or yoga to increase concentration and reduce stress. It can also be helpful to link learning materials to movement, such as doing math by jumping or learning vocabulary by moving around the room. Use external resources. Teachers can incorporate external resources and tools to encourage active learning and movement. For example, they can use interactive whiteboards, tablets, or online learning platforms that require movement and physical activity. There are also special games and apps that combine movement and learning to provide interactive and engaging learning experiences for students with ADHD and ADD. Active learning and movement are important elements in making learning more effective and interesting for students with ADHD and ADD. Incorporating physical activity, interactive methods, and hands-on activities engage different senses, increase attention, and deepen learning. Teachers can incorporate these approaches into the classroom to meet the individual needs of students and create a successful learning environment. It is important to be flexible and try different methods to find out which approaches work best and support the learning process. Support with homework and exam preparation. When helping students with ADHD and ADD with homework and test preparation, it is important to provide them with a structured and supportive environment. Here are some ways teachers and parents can help. Give clear instructions. Make sure students receive clear instructions for their homework and exam preparation. Give them a detailed overview of the tasks, scope and deadlines. This will help them stay on track and plan their time effectively. Step-by-step instructions. Give students step-by-step instructions on how to approach their homework. Break complex tasks down into smaller, manageable steps to avoid overwhelming them. This helps students focus on a task and work through it step by step. Support time management. Help students organize and manage their time effectively. Encourage them to create a schedule or to-do list to plan and prioritize their tasks. Help them schedule breaks to maintain their concentration. Structured work environment. Create a quiet and tidy work environment where students can concentrate well. Reduce distractions such as loud noises, television or mobile phones. Also offer them appropriate work materials and resources to complete their homework and exam preparation. Support in organizing materials. Help students organize their papers and materials well. Show them how to neatly file their notes, books, and worksheets to facilitate quick retrieval and review of materials. Use individual learning strategies. Work with students to identify individual learning strategies that help them learn effectively and remember information better. These can include creating mind maps, using color coding, or taking voice notes. Encourage students to use these strategies to support their homework and test preparation. Feedback and encouragement. Give students regular feedback on their homework and exam preparation. Recognize their efforts and progress and encourage them to continue to do their best. Also give them constructive feedback to help them improve their work. Through structured support and individual learning strategies, students with ADHD and ADD can be supported with homework and exam preparation. Here are other ways teachers and parents can help. Tasks into manageable chunks. Help students break large tasks down into smaller chunks. This makes it easier for them to keep track and focus on one task at a time. Break tasks down into clearly defined steps and show them how to tackle them one at a time. Time limits. Set clear time limits for completing homework and preparing for exams. Help students use their time efficiently by providing them with a timer. For example, this will help them focus and complete their tasks within the allotted time. Support with prioritization. Help students set priorities and identify the most important tasks. Together you can discuss which tasks should be done first and how they can use their time most effectively. Provide guidance in making decisions to avoid overload. Support with information processing. Students with ADHD and ADD may have difficulty processing information and retaining it long term. Support them in using techniques such as repetition, summarization, and visual aids to reinforce what they have learned. Work with them to develop individualized learning strategies that best meet their needs. Reward systems. Implement reward systems to increase student motivation. This can be in the form of small rewards for completing tasks or achieving learning goals. These positive incentives can help them focus, stay engaged, and improve their performance. Support for test anxiety. Students with ADHD and ADD may suffer from test anxiety. Offer them strategies to deal with their anxiety, such as relaxation techniques or positive self-talk. Encourage them to prepare appropriately and offer them support during the exam process. Collaborate with professionals. Work closely with professionals, such as school psychologists or special education teachers. They can provide additional support and resources to meet students' individual needs. Through comprehensive support and individually adapted learning strategies, students with ADHD and ADD can be successfully supported in their homework and exam preparation. It is important that teachers and parents work closely with students to understand their needs and challenges and offer appropriate solutions. By creating a supportive and structured environment, giving clear instructions, promoting time management and using individual learning strategies, they can make the learning process more effective. In addition, teachers and parents should encourage students to actively ask for support when they need it. They should give them the confidence and reassurance that it is okay to ask for help, whether it is organizing homework, understanding assignments, or dealing with difficulties in learning. Open communication and a supportive environment are crucial to making students feel that they are not alone and that their needs are being taken seriously. It is important to note that every student with ADHD and ADD is unique and requires different support. Therefore, it is advisable to consider students' individual strengths, interests and learning styles and offer tailored solutions. By working together, teachers, parents and professionals can help students with ADHD and ADD to reach their potential and learn successfully. Organization aids for homework. To help students with ADHD and ADD organize their homework, various organizational aids can be used. Here are some practical approaches. Homework notebook. A homework notebook or a dedicated homework app can help students record and track their assignments. It is important that they enter their homework regularly and keep track of deadlines. To-do lists. Students can benefit from to-do lists to break their tasks down into smaller, manageable steps. They can prioritize their tasks and check them off as they are completed. Color coding systems. Using colors can help keep track of different tasks or subjects. Each color can be assigned a specific meaning. For example, red for math, blue for English, etc. Neat work environment. A tidy and organized work environment can help students focus and concentrate. It is helpful to provide suitable storage options and organization systems for work materials, books and notes. Reminders and alarms. Students can set reminders and alarms on their mobile phones or other digital devices to help them remember important appointments and deadlines. Parental support. Parents can actively support their children in organizing their homework by creating the work plan together, carrying out regular checks and providing assistance when needed. They can also serve as a reminder and motivate their children to complete their homework on time. Clearly defined work hours. It can be helpful to set clear times for homework when students can work without interruptions. A regular routine and structured schedule can help them focus on their tasks and minimize distractions. By providing organizational tools, students with ADHD and ADD can learn to organize their homework effectively and manage their time better. It is important to choose the methods that best fit students' individual needs and learning styles. Effective study methods for exams. To help students with ADHD and ADD prepare for exams, effective learning methods can be used. Here are some proven approaches. Active learning. Instead of just passively absorbing information, students should be actively involved in the learning process. This can be done by actively reading, creating summaries, taking notes, or solving practice exercises. Active engagement deepens understanding and helps students retain what they have learned better. Study groups. Learning in groups can be particularly helpful for students with ADHD and ADD. In a study group, they can exchange ideas with others, discuss questions together, and learn from each other. Explaining learning content to each other can help to ensure that knowledge is better anchored. Mnemonics. Mnemonics are memory techniques that can make it easier to remember and recall information. These include, for example, creating mnemonics, linking content to images, or creating mnemonic phrases. Such techniques can help students remember important information better. Repetition and spaced learning. Regular repetition is crucial for retaining what you have learned in the long term. Instead of learning everything at once, it is more effective to spread the learning material over a longer period of time. Spaced learning, that is interval training in which learning is spread over different periods of time, can help improve memory. Visualization techniques. Visual aids such as mind maps, diagrams, or graphics can help to present complex information in a structured and clear manner. Students can visually grasp important connections and understand and retain what they have learned more easily. Self-monitoring and feedback. Students should monitor and evaluate themselves during the learning process. They can document their progress and difficulties and make appropriate adjustments. Teachers and parents can provide supportive feedback and provide targeted advice for improvement. Relaxation techniques. Relaxation techniques such as breathing exercises, meditation, or progressive muscle relaxation can help reduce stress and improve concentration. Students should also plan sufficient breaks to recover and recharge their batteries. It is important that students choose the learning methods that best suit their individual needs and learning styles. By using effective learning methods, they can improve their learning performance and build confidence in their abilities. Stress management and relaxation techniques. Stress management and relaxation techniques play an important role in managing test anxiety and promoting well-being in students with ADHD and ADD. Here are some proven methods. Breathing exercises. Deep abdominal breathing and conscious inhalation and exhalation can help reduce stress and improve concentration. Students can incorporate short breathing exercises into their daily learning routine to relax and calm the mind. Progressive muscle relaxation. This technique involves tensing different muscle groups one after the other and then consciously relaxing them. By specifically relaxing the muscles, deep physical and mental relaxation can be achieved. Meditation and mindfulness. Meditation and mindfulness exercises can help calm the mind, improve focus, and reduce stress. Students can incorporate short meditation sessions or mindfulness exercises into their daily routine to find moments of calm and serenity. Exercise breaks. Taking regular exercise breaks during study can help recharge energy and reduce stress levels. Students can take short walks, do yoga or stretching exercises, or engage in other physical activities to relax and refresh the mind. Time for hobbies and relaxation. In addition to studying, it is important to make time for hobbies and relaxation. Students should choose activities that bring them joy and help them release stress. This can include reading a book, listening to music, painting, or other leisure activities. Sleep hygiene. Sufficient, high-quality sleep is crucial for well-being and the ability to concentrate. Students should stick to a regular bedtime, create a quiet sleeping environment, and maintain good sleep hygiene. Seek support. Students should not be afraid to seek support from teachers, parents, or other trusted people. They can help identify stressors, develop strategies to manage stress, and support the development of a positive mindset. By regularly practicing relaxation techniques and paying attention to their own well-being, students can reduce stress and improve their ability to cope with the challenges of studying and exam preparation. Promoting social and emotional skills. Promoting social and emotional skills is very important for students with ADHD and ADD. Here are some approaches to strengthen these skills. Emotion regulation. Students should learn to recognize, understand, and manage their own emotions appropriately. This can be achieved through techniques such as deep breathing, relaxation exercises, or expressing feelings through art or writing. Self-confidence and self-esteem. Developing positive self-confidence and healthy self-esteem is important. Students should be encouraged to recognize their strengths and successes and to strengthen their self-awareness. Empathy and compassion. Understanding other people's feelings and needs is an important part of social skills. Students should learn to put themselves in other people's shoes, take on other people's perspectives and show compassion. Communication skills. The ability to express oneself clearly and respectfully and to listen actively is crucial for successful social interactions. Students can improve their communication skills through role-playing, group work and targeted training. Conflict resolution. The ability to resolve conflicts constructively is important to maintaining positive relationships. Students should learn to address problems, find compromises, and develop alternative solutions. Teamwork and collaboration. Working in a team allows students to practice and strengthen their social skills. Joint projects, group work or sports activities promote cooperation and understanding of the needs and perspectives of others. Self-regulation and impulse control. The ability to control impulsive behavior and regulate oneself is important for positive social interaction. Students should learn strategies to recognize and slow down impulsive reactions. Social and emotional skills can be promoted through targeted exercises, role plays, reflections and activities in the school community. Teachers, parents and other caregivers can act as role models and mentors and help students to further develop their social and emotional skills. Strengthen self-acceptance and self-esteem. Strengthening self-acceptance and self-esteem is an important aspect of personal development for students with ADHD and ADD. Here are some ways to encourage these areas. Positive self-image. Students should be encouraged to focus on their strengths and positive qualities. By being aware of their own abilities and successes, they can shape their self-image positively. View mistakes as learning opportunities. It is important to encourage students to accept mistakes as a natural part of the learning process. They should learn to learn from mistakes and not be discouraged, but instead keep going and look for solutions. Set realistic goals. Students should learn to set realistic goals and recognize their own progress. It is important that they celebrate their successes, even if they are small, and do not measure themselves solely by unrealistic expectations. Self-reflection. Students should be encouraged to self-reflect and question their own thoughts, feelings and behaviors. This can help them develop a better understanding of themselves and identify possible improvements. Self-care. Students should learn to pay attention to their own needs and practice self-care. This includes aspects such as getting enough sleep, eating healthy, exercising regularly, and managing stress. Seek support. It is important for students to know that they are not alone and can seek support if they need it. Teachers, parents, confidants or support groups can help them to build their self-esteem and accept themselves. Positive affirmations. Repeating positive affirmations regularly can help boost self-esteem. Students can tell themselves positive phrases such as "I am valuable" or "I have the ability to overcome challenges." Strengthening self-acceptance and self-esteem is a continuous process. Through positive support, appreciative interaction and the promotion of a positive self-image, students can develop healthy self-esteem and build a positive attitude towards themselves. Dealing with frustration and failure. Dealing with frustration and failure is an important skill for students with ADHD and ADD to develop. Here are some strategies that can help them. Emotional regulation. Students should learn to recognize and regulate their own emotions in moments of frustration. This can be achieved through techniques such as deep breathing, short relaxation exercises, or expressing feelings through art or writing. Change of perspective. It can be helpful to look at a situation from different angles and ask yourself whether there are alternative explanations or solutions. A change of perspective can help to overcome negative thoughts and recognize new possibilities. Positive self-talk. Students should learn to say positive and encouraging phrases to themselves to help them cope with their frustration. Positive self-talk can help them increase their motivation and perseverance. Learning mindset. Instead of viewing failures as personal defeats, students should develop a learning mindset. They can view their experiences as learning opportunities, learn from mistakes, and adapt their strategies to achieve better results. Seek support. Students should know that they are not alone and can seek support when they are frustrated or experiencing failure. Teachers, parents or other trusted people can help them find perspective, work out solutions and encourage them to keep going. Set realistic expectations. It is important for students to set realistic expectations for themselves. This means not focusing exclusively on perfection, but recognizing progress and small successes. Self-care. Students should pay attention to their own needs and practice self-care. Taking breaks, getting enough sleep, eating healthy, and exercising regularly will help reduce stress and increase frustration tolerance. By applying these strategies and actively dealing with frustration and failure, students can strengthen their ability to cope with difficult situations and respond positively to setbacks. Development of social skills. Developing social skills is very important for students with ADHD and ADD to enable successful social interactions. Here are some approaches to promoting social skills. Communication. Students should learn to express their thoughts and feelings clearly and respectfully. This includes practicing active listening, asking questions, sharing perspectives, and using appropriate nonverbal cues. Empathy. The ability to put yourself in other people's shoes and understand their feelings and needs is an important part of social skills. Students should be encouraged to show empathy and treat others with respect and understanding. Collaboration and teamwork. The ability to work effectively in a team and adapt to shared goals is critical. Students should learn to contribute their own ideas, compromise, and recognize their contributions to shared success. Conflict resolution. The ability to resolve conflicts constructively is important to maintaining positive relationships. Students should learn to express their own needs, listen, consider different solutions, and seek compromises. Social rules and norms. Students should understand the social rules and norms in different situations and learn appropriate behavior. This includes aspects such as politeness, punctuality, following rules and respecting the boundaries of others. Self-regulation. The ability to control impulsive behavior and conform to social norms is important. Students should learn strategies to recognize and control their impulses before they act. Friendships and social interactions. Students should be supported to build and maintain positive social relationships. They should learn to cultivate friendships, recognize social cues, and enjoy social activities. Developing social skills requires practice and experience. Students can be given opportunities to practice and improve their social skills through role-playing, group work, team projects, and supportive social environments. Teachers, parents, and other caregivers can serve as role models, provide guidance, and offer supportive feedback to encourage social development. Support from parents and family. Support from parents and family plays a crucial role in the learning process of children with ADHD and ADD. Here are some ways parents can support their children. Educate and understand. Parents should educate themselves about ADHD and ADD to gain a better understanding of the challenges their children face. This knowledge will help them set appropriate expectations and provide appropriate support. Communication and openness. Open communication between parents and children is important. Parents should allow their children to talk about their difficulties and express their feelings. It is important to create a supportive and understanding environment where children feel safe and heard. Structure and routine. A structured daily routine and clear routines can help children with ADHD and ADD to be more organized and use their time effectively. Parents can help create a schedule that includes school hours, homework, leisure activities and rest periods. Homework support. Parents can provide support to their children with homework by providing a quiet place to work, helping with organization, and motivating them when needed. It is important that parents are patient and encouraging in this process and help their children develop effective learning strategies. Clear expectations and reward systems. Parents should set clear expectations for their children and help them understand them. A reward system can be used to encourage positive behaviors and success. It is important to make the rewards appropriate and achievable. Working with the school. Parents should work with their child's teachers to facilitate regular communication about the child's progress and needs. Parents can provide information about the ADHD or ADD diagnosis and work with teachers to plan appropriate support measures. Encouraging strengths and hobbies. Parents should encourage their children to discover and develop their strengths and hobbies. This can help build confidence and motivation. Parents can support their children in participating in extracurricular activities that match their interests. Parental self-care. Parents should take care of their own physical and emotional health. Self-care allows parents to be patient, empathetic and supportive. Involving partners, family members or professionals can help parents cope with the challenges and get support. Support from parents and family is very important for children with ADHD and ADD. By creating a loving, supportive, understanding and constructive atmosphere, parents can make a significant contribution to the positive development of their children. It is important to take individual needs and abilities into account and to focus on the child's strengths. Empathy and understanding. Parents should put themselves in their child's shoes and understand their perspective. Through empathy, parents can better respond to their child's needs and challenges and provide appropriate support. Continued collaboration with professionals. Parents can benefit from working with professionals, such as pediatricians, therapists, or educators. These professionals can provide valuable advice, information, and techniques for dealing with ADHD and ADD specific challenges. Support for self-regulation. Parents can help their children develop self-regulation skills by teaching them strategies for stress management, emotion regulation and impulse control. Together, they can learn techniques such as deep breathing, relaxation exercises or keeping a journal. Boosting self-confidence. Parents should encourage their children and find encouraging words to boost their confidence and self-esteem. By emphasizing strengths and successes, parents can build their children's self-confidence and encourage them to pursue their goals. Supporting social interactions. Parents can help their children develop social skills by teaching them to show empathy, build friendships, and resolve conflicts constructively. Parents can serve as role models and provide opportunities for their children to practice social skills in a variety of situations. Balanced lifestyle. Parents should ensure that their child has a balanced lifestyle that includes a healthy diet, sufficient exercise and enough sleep. A healthy lifestyle can have a positive effect on the child's attention, concentration and well-being. Celebrate successes. Parents should recognize and celebrate their child's successes and progress. This will build the child's confidence and motivation and encourage them to continue to do their best. Support from parents and family can have a decisive influence on the success and well-being of children with ADHD and ADD. Through a loving, supportive and understanding attitude, parents can help their children to develop their potential and successfully overcome their individual challenges. Role of parents in everyday school life. The role of parents in the school life of children with ADHD and ADD is very important. Here are some aspects that highlight the role of parents. Communication with the school. Parents should communicate regularly with teachers and school staff to stay informed about their child's progress, any difficulties, and any support needs. Open and collaborative communication allows parents to work with the school to develop strategies to meet their child's needs. Advocacy role. Parents should represent their child's interests and actively advocate for their child to receive appropriate supports and resources. This may include participation in individualized education plans, IEPs, or other special programs designed to meet the child's learning needs. Support with homework and learning activities. Parents can take a supportive role with homework and other school learning activities. They can help their children get organized, stay on track, and focus on tasks. This can be done by creating a calm learning environment, providing resources, and explaining tasks and instructions. Promote self-management skills. Parents can help their children develop self-management skills to use their time effectively, plan and organize tasks, and monitor their own progress. This includes encouraging self-reflection and offering strategies to improve self-control and self-regulation. Support in the development of social skills. Parents can support their children in developing social skills and improving their social interactions. This can be done through role-playing, learning communication strategies, and promoting empathy and social sensitivity. Parents can also encourage participation in extracurricular activities and groups to support social integration. Promote a positive self-concept. Parents should encourage their children to believe in their abilities and strengths and to develop a positive self-image. This includes celebrating successes and encouraging the further development of personal goals and interests. Parents can also offer support and guidance in dealing with setbacks and frustration. Parental self-care. Parents should pay attention to their own self-care to maintain their ability to best support their children. This includes taking care of their own physical and emotional health, connecting with other parents in similar situations, and utilizing support resources such as counseling or support groups. By taking care of their own needs, parents can maintain their energy and resources to best support their children. The role of parents in the everyday school life of children with ADHD and ADD is varied and demanding. It requires a high level of commitment, patience and flexibility. However, through their active involvement and support, parents can have a positive influence on their child's academic development and well-being. Together with the school, they can provide the best possible support and encouragement to promote their child's academic success and personal development. Tips for parent-child communication. Effective communication between parents and children is crucial to building a healthy relationship and promoting understanding and support for children with ADHD and ADD. Here are some tips for parent-child communication. Create time and space. Create regular time and acquired space to talk to your child. Choose a place where you will not be disturbed and can concentrate on the conversation. Active listening. Show your child that you are listening carefully by making eye contact, focusing on what is being said, and sending nonverbal signals of attention. Repeat what is being said if necessary to make sure you have understood correctly. Openness and understanding. Be open to your child's perspective and feelings. Avoid prejudice and judgment. Try to see what is being said from their point of view and show understanding for their experiences. Clear and precise communication. Use clear and simple language to convey your thoughts and instructions. Avoid long and complicated sentences. Make sure your child understands you by asking him or her to repeat what you said in his or her own words when necessary. Positive reinforcement. Praise your child for their efforts, progress and successes. Give specific and honest feedback. Focus on the strengths and positives to build your child's confidence and motivation. Collaborative problem solving. Engage your child actively in solving problems and challenges. Ask open-ended questions and encourage them to contribute their own ideas and solutions. Together you can look for ways to overcome difficulties and bring about positive change. Patience and empathy. Be patient if your child has difficulty expressing his or her thoughts or concentrating. Practice empathy and try to put yourself in your child's shoes. Feeling understood and supported is especially important for children with ADHD and ADD. Body language and nonverbal communication. Pay attention to your own body language and nonverbal signals. Be attentive. Calm and patient. Use appropriate gestures and facial expressions to support your messages. Regular updates. Maintain regular contact with the teachers and other professionals who support your child. Find out about your child's progress, challenges and needs. Share this information with your child as well to ensure an open and transparent communication climate. Parent support groups and professional support. Another important aspect of support for parents of children with ADHD and ADD is access to support groups and professional help. Here are some ways parents can get support. Support groups. Look for local support groups for parents of children with ADHD and ADD. These groups provide an opportunity to exchange experiences, support each other, and share best practices. It is helpful to connect with other parents in similar situations and learn from their experiences. Parent training and workshops. Find out about training and workshops that are offered specifically for parents of children with ADHD and ADD. These training courses offer information, tips and strategies to help them deal with everyday challenges and strengthen the parent-child relationship. Professional support. If needed, seek professional support from psychologists, therapists, or counselors who specialize in ADHD and ADD. These professionals can help you develop a personalized support strategy for your child and help you manage your own emotions and challenges. Sources of information. Use reliable sources of information such as books, online resources, professional journals, and scientific studies to increase your understanding of ADHD and ADD. The more informed you are, the better you can understand your child's needs and respond appropriately. Self-care. Don't forget to pay attention to your own self-care. Take time for yourself to reduce stress and look after your own mental and physical health. Make sure you get enough sleep, eat healthy, exercise regularly, and make time for relaxation and hobbies. Parental support is critical to helping children with ADHD and ADD reach their potential and promote their well-being. By educating themselves, improving their communication, networking, and seeking professional support, parents can create a positive and supportive environment that helps their children overcome their challenges and succeed. Support at home. Support at home plays an essential role for children with ADHD and ADD. Here are some ways parents can support their children. Structure and routine. Create a clear structure and a fixed routine at home. This helps children with ADHD and ADD feel safe and organized. Create a fixed schedule for meals, homework, leisure activities and bedtime. Organizational tools. Help your child organize their school supplies, homework, and room. For example, use colored folders or labels to keep track of things. Encourage your child to regularly check and tidy up their backpack and school supplies. Learning support. Provide your child with a quiet and well-equipped learning environment at home. Reduce distractions. Provide a desk or work area, and provide adequate lighting. Help with homework if needed, but encourage your child to work independently as much as possible. Reward systems. Implement reward systems to encourage positive behavior and progress. Set clear goals and reward your child for their efforts and successes. This can be in the form of small gifts, shared activities, or praise and recognition. Communicate with the school. Keep in regular contact with teachers and other school professionals. Inform them of your child's specific needs and ask for feedback on progress and how to adjust support. Close collaboration between parents and school is crucial to ensure the best possible support for the child. Patience and understanding. Show patience and understanding for the challenges your child is facing. Avoid criticism and negative reinforcement and instead focus on positive feedback and encouragement. Remember that each child has individual needs and grows and learns at their own pace. Support at home plays an essential role in the success and well-being of children with ADHD and ADD. By providing a structured environment, encouraging organization and learning, implementing reward systems, and working closely with the school, parents can have a positive influence on their child's development. Outlook and perspectives. The outlook and perspectives will look at future developments and opportunities for children with ADHD and ADD. Here are some important aspects. Advances in research. Research into ADHD and ADD is constantly advancing. New insights into the causes, symptoms and treatment options can lead to better support for children with ADHD and ADD. It is important to stay informed about current research findings and innovative approaches. Individualized therapy approaches. The needs of every child with ADHD and ADD are unique, so it is important to develop individualized therapy approaches that are tailored to each child's specific strengths and challenges. This may include a combination of medication treatment, behavioral therapy, occupational therapy, and other interventions. School inclusion. Promoting the inclusion of children with ADHD and ADD in regular schools is an important goal. By providing appropriate support and resources, children with ADHD and ADD can successfully participate in school life and develop their skills. Sensitized school staff and appropriate classroom adjustments are crucial here. Support in the transition to adulthood. The transition from school to adulthood can be challenging for youth with ADHD and ADD. It is important to provide support structures and resources to help them develop independence, social skills, career choices, and coping strategies. Awareness and education. Widespread awareness of ADHD and ADD is of great importance. Through education, prejudices and misconceptions can be reduced and society can create a supportive environment for children with ADHD and ADD. This includes raising awareness among teachers, parents, friends and the public in general. It is to be hoped that with advances in research, education and society, the opportunities and possibilities for children with ADHD and ADD will continue to improve. With appropriate support, understanding and encouragement, they can reach their full potential and lead fulfilling and successful lives. Long-term development and self-management. There are several important aspects to consider regarding the long-term development and self-management of children with ADHD and ADD. Self-understanding and self-acceptance. Children with ADHD and ADD should be supported in understanding and accepting themselves. By acquiring knowledge about their individual strengths and weaknesses and dealing with their particular challenges, they can develop a positive self-image and strengthen their self-confidence. Self-regulation and self-control. Developing self-regulation skills is crucial for children with ADHD and ADD. This includes the ability to direct their attention, control impulses, organize themselves, and focus on goals. Through targeted training and exercises, children can learn to regulate their behaviors and manage themselves. Self-organization strategies. Promoting self-organization strategies is very important. Children with ADHD and ADD can benefit from techniques such as to-do lists, time management tools, organizational aids and prioritization. These tools help them to structure tasks, keep track of things and plan effectively. Emotional regulation. Children with ADHD and ADD may have difficulty regulating their emotions appropriately. Therefore, it is important to teach them strategies to manage emotions, such as relaxation techniques, breathing exercises, or expressing feelings through words or creative activities. By developing emotional regulation, children can better deal with stress, frustration, and conflict. Set long-term goals. Children with ADHD and ADD should be encouraged to set and work toward long-term goals, helping them identify their interests, strengths, and passions can help them formulate their own goals and develop strategies to achieve them. Taking a step-by-step approach and celebrating successes along the way are important elements. The long-term development and self-management of children with ADHD and ADD requires patience, ongoing support and individually tailored approaches. By focusing on strengthening self-regulation, self-organization, emotional regulation and the pursuit of long-term goals, parents, teachers and other caregivers can help children develop their skills and lead independent and fulfilling lives. Opportunities and potentials of ADHD and ADD. Despite the challenges that can come with ADHD and ADD, there are also opportunities and potential that need to be recognized and promoted. Creativity and originality. Many children with ADHD and ADD are characterized by their creative thinking and their ability to develop original ideas. They can find unusual solutions and bring innovative perspectives. This creativity can be expressed in various areas such as art, music, writing and technological innovations. Energetic and vibrant personality. Children with ADHD and ADD often have high energy and enthusiasm. They may be able to channel their energy into productive avenues and engage in things that interest them. This vibrant personality can become a driving force for personal growth and success. Quick thinking and fast processing. Many children with ADHD and ADD have quick thinking and are able to absorb and process information quickly. This can lead to them making quick decisions, analyzing complex problems quickly, and navigating dynamic situations well. This ability can benefit them in many areas of life. High flexibility and adaptability. Children with ADHD and ADD can often be flexible and adapt quickly to new situations and changes. They are good at adjusting to unforeseen events and taking on new challenges. This ability to adapt can help them succeed in an ever-changing world. Passion and perseverance. Children with ADHD and ADD can develop a strong passion for things that interest them. When they are passionate about a subject, hobby, or activity, they can often demonstrate high levels of motivation and perseverance. This passion and perseverance can help them achieve their goals and celebrate success. It is important to recognize and support these opportunities and potentials of ADHD and ADD. By encouraging a child's individual strengths and interests, you can help them reach their full potential and lead a fulfilling life. A positive attitude, recognition of achievements and a supportive environment are crucial to making the most of the opportunities and potential of ADHD and ADD. What is an ADHD diary? An ADHD diary is a useful tool to monitor and better understand the progression and impact of ADHD symptoms. Here is some important information that can be included in an ADHD diary. Date and time. Write down the date and time of each entry to keep track of the timeline. Mood and emotions. Describe your current mood and emotional states. Note whether you feel happy, sad, stressed or anxious. This will help identify any connections between mood and ADHD symptoms. Symptoms. Write down the symptoms you experience during the day. These may include difficulty concentrating, impulsivity, hyperactivity, restlessness, forgetfulness, or other ADHD symptoms. Describe the severity of the symptoms and how they affect your activities and well-being. Activities. Write down what activities you did during the day. This can include school, work, recreational activities, or other tasks. Also note if certain activities were more difficult or caused more ADHD symptoms. Medication. If you are taking medication to treat ADHD, write down the exact dosage and times you take it. Also note how the medication affects your symptoms and performance. Sleep. Write down how well you slept and whether you had trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. Lack of sleep can worsen ADHD symptoms, so it's important to monitor sleep as well. Diet. Pay attention to your diet and note whether certain foods or drinks affect your symptoms. Some people with ADHD report worsening symptoms after consuming sugary or caffeinated products. Special events. Make notes about special events that occurred during the day. These can be positive or negative experiences, stressful situations or special challenges. Progress and goals. Set goals and track your progress. Make note of which strategies or techniques worked well and which didn't. This will help you track your progress in dealing with ADHD and make improvements. An ADHD diary should be kept regularly to identify trends and patterns. It can help you develop a better understanding of your ADHD symptoms and identify possible solutions. Remember that a diary is a personal tool and you can adapt it to your individual needs. Can. Stack of books rechtlich hinweisen impressum. Verantwortlich für den Inhalt Herausgeber Veröffentlichende. Grafschafter. C. Allrecht vorbehalten. Contact für Rückfragen. Email symbol fragenzoombook at gmail.com. Scales Haftungssorglos und rechtlich Hinweis. Dieses E-Book wird mit größter Sorgfalt erstellt. Die Inhalte dienen ausschließlich der Information und oder Unterhaltung und stellen keine verbindlich rechtlich, medizinisch, steuerlich oder fachlich Beratung dar. Trotz sorgfältiger Prüfung übernehmen oder Herausgeber und Verlag keine oder Verrichtigkeit, Vollständigkeit oder Aktualität der bereitgestellten Informationen. In Haftung für Schaden materieller oder ideeller Art, die durch die Nutzung oder Nichtnutzung der Inhalt entstehen, ist, sauit gesetzlich zulässig, ausgeschlossen. Buchurheberrecht und Copyright. Sämtliche Inhalt dieses E-Books, einschließlich Text, Ideen, Konzept, Struktur, Gestaltung, Grafiken und sonstige Bestandteil, unterliegen dem deutschen Urheberrecht und sind gestiges Eigentum des Herausgebers Grafschafter BZW, des hinter dem verwendeten Pseudonym stehenden Autos. Allrecht, auch der Aussagungsweisen oder Sinngemäßen Vervielfältigung, Verbreitung, öffentlichen Zugänglichmachung, Bearbeitung, Übersetzung und Speicherung in Datenbanken oder anderen Medien, blieben ausdrücklich vorbehalten. Das Kopieren, Vervielfältigen, Verbreiten, Speichern oder anderweitig Nutzen von Inhalten, auch in Teilen oder in veränderter Form, ist unwahrheitig. Ausdrücklich und schriftlich Genehmigung des Richtinhabers nicht gestattet. Zu widerhandelnden werden rechtlich verfolgt. Brain ki Unterstützung. Dieses Manuskript wird teilweise mit Hilfe einer künstlichen Intelligenz sprachlich überarbeitet und lektoriert. Dabei wird sichergestellt, dass all geistigen Inhalt und kreativen Ideen vom Autor stammen und die ki ausschließlich zur sprachlichen Optimierung verwendet wird. Die ki gestützte Plattform erholt kein Lizenz zur weiteren Verwendung, Vervielfältigung oder kommerziellen Verwirklichung dieses Inhalts. Die Nutzung durch die ki dient allein der stilistischen Verbesserung, nicht der Weiterverarbeitung oder Weitergabe. Closed Lock with Key Rechten Pseudonym und Veröffentlichung. Der Name BZW. Das verwendete Pseudonym, unter dem dieses Werk veröffentlicht wird, ist exklusiv dem Verlag BZW, dem Herausgeber Grafschafter zugeordnet. Sämtliche Recht zur Nutzung, Vermarktung und Publication unter diesem Namen liegen ausschließlich beim Herausgeber. In Verwendung des Pseudonyms durch Dritt, gleich zu welchem Zweck, ist nicht gestattet und wird rechtlich verfolgt. Open letterbox with raised flag contact. Bei Rückfragen, Anmerkungen oder Anliegen bezüglich dieses E-Books wenden Sie sich bitte vertrauens wollen. E-Mail Symbol Fragen @gmail.com. Legal notice and rights information. This audiobook is published and distributed by Testberichtsinstitut LLC, which holds the full rights to market and distribute this audio production. Renovatio LLC acts as an intellectual property protection entity for the original author. The original source materials are securely archived and retained by Renovatio LLC as proof of authorship and origin. All rights reserved.